Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, and if you are new here, hi, my name is Natasha and it's fantastic to have you here. For today's video, we're trying something a little bit new. We're only using 3, technically 4 decks, and we are going to see where your block is for your manifestation. So if you are into this, we're going to give it a go. If not, I will see you in my next video. But this is a timeless reading, general reading, so whenever you come across this video, this was your message, and take what resonates and know the intention behind this video was for you to have a message and to get some insight. All right, so with that being said, I do have 3 groups here. Each one has a signifier card. Before you pick the pile, or if you want to pick multiple piles, that's up to you. All I ask you to do is to get into a calm, centered space and allow your intuition or your gut to choose for you. Timestamps per each group will be down in the description box below, as well as in a pinned comment by me. That way you could skip directly to your group. All right, let's get into it. Group number 1 is going to be over here. The card significator for it is this azurite. So it says discipline, and we have the ruling planet of Saturn. Group number 1, discipline. That might be important. Group number 2, we have alignment with the Herkimer diamond and the Earth Star chakra. Group number 2, alignment. And group number 3, we have hematite with culmination and the root chakra. Group number 3. All right, you can pause the video to go ahead and meditate on these cards if you would like, and if not, I will see you in your particular group. Hello, my group number 1s, those of you who chose the azurite with the keyword discipline here and the planet of Saturn. So I just want to take a look at the keywords in the book real fast. We've got clear communication, blockage removal, and spirit guides. So that's quite interesting. So that could be attributing to what your blockages are. Maybe you're not communicating your goals and plans clearly to yourself, or maybe you were having intrusive thoughts to yourself. With this clear communication, it could mean that you need to kind of retune and rethink how you are speaking to yourself, as well as the blockage removal. That's what we're talking about now. And then spirit guides. Are you communicating with them? Are you having them involved with your workings, with your day-to-day, with your plans? Maybe it's time to, reach out and ask for help should you need it. And discipline, I'm thinking that maybe there might be a need for more discipline, especially with Saturn here. Maybe there needs to be more structure. Maybe there needs to be a change in your structure or routine, or how you go about your day-to-day. So let's put this to the side so we can still kind of check in with it if we need to. But we've got 1 tarot card today that's going to show us what your blockage is. And then we have 2 different decks, 1 card of each, to kind of get clearer on what's going on. So your blockage today is the 8 of Swords. That is really interesting. So the suit of Swords itself is the suit of air, which is the suit of communication, thoughts. And when we are looking at the 8 of Swords, we are feeling very trapped by our own mind, our own thoughts. Sometimes we feel like we're not worthy enough, that we're undeserving, that, we would never be able to get that. We would never be able to do that. So in regards to, manifesting, whether you're using law of assumption, law of attraction, whatever law, or you're doing spell work, like attracts like. So if you are constantly telling yourself, I'm not worthy of this, I could never do this, or, fill in the blank of an example, the universe is going to validate that in a response. So they might send you more things that you feel that you aren't deserving of, or that, are a letdown, or quote unquote negative, right? So when we change our way of speaking to ourselves and our thought patterns, what we actually do is empower ourselves. So think of this as like a mousetrap or like a cage. Your mind is feeling like a cage right now. And so we need to retool the thoughts to unlock the cage. And how that is going to be achieved with you is by retooling your train of thought, paying attention to those patterns that come up, and how you speak to yourself. It is important that you speak to yourself with love, empowerment, with nurturing ways. Look at yourself as a plant or someone who you truly care about. Would you speak to your child, your pet, your loved one in the ways that you speak to yourself? And when you start noticing those patterns, that's when you can flip them in on themselves and say, no, I don't believe that. That's not true. And then you start telling yourself empowering things like, I am confident. I am successful. I am so creative. So you switch the mindset. And some of you really need to get out of your own way. And I know that's easier said than done. All of this is. But when you're overthinking and when you are telling yourself that like, oh no, this needs to be this way, this needs to be perfect. What will people think? What will happen if, when you're consistently in that overthinking pattern, you lose all of the spark that goes along with creating or moving forward. Instead, what you're doing is spinning yourself in this hamster wheel of ongoing disappointment, right? It feels like you go one step forward to get 10 steps back. So instead, what we're going to try to do is empower ourselves with just taking the first step. Just take the step, see how it feels, and move forward, right? It's not too scary if you just put one foot in front of the other. I'm not asking you to run. I'm not asking you to, do anything too crazy, but just begin, just start. All right? Because at the end of the day, what other people think about you and how they perceive you is not your business. What your business is how you see yourself, how you feel about yourself. Because that is what's going to empower you to move forward and move with authenticity and integrity and with grace. We know that we're not going to change the minds of other people. We know that we can only do so much. Sometimes we're just not other people's cup of tea. And that's okay. Because if we were everybody's cup of tea, man, that would be boring. We wouldn't have any precious moments, right? So retool how you think about yourself. Get out of your own mind. Allow yourself to kind of open up a little bit more with how you perceive your own self. And stop with the perfectionism. All right? So the next thing I want to do is kind of get a perspective of the Wealthy Woman's deck to see how we can positively move forward and be empowered, a little bit more advice. And so with this, we have the rebirth. So very similar to what we were speaking about is kind of retooling, transforming into something new and different. Rebirth. Give yourself a new way of thinking, a new way of being, a new discipline. Communicate clearly to yourself with love and empowerment. This is a new start. Think of it as a fresh, clean plate that you can level up. All right. This is a new way of thinking, a new way of being. And, this is also a healing thing. We have the lotus here, which symbolizes, growth and healing. And, the lotus blooms from the mud. It grows out of the mud and blooms out of darkness. We also have the sun here. It's a new day, right? So look at this as healing, as growth, as a new time. But we're also releasing. She's moving forward. She's not moving back. We're releasing the old. We are releasing what no longer is serving us. We don't need to be defined by our past, by our past thoughts, past actions. We are now moving forward. And so from the book, we've got Who you are is more than your experiences and more than your current habits. So right now it says you are being called to drop your identification with the past and to begin to see yourself more than your collection of memories. Instead, see yourself limitless and unbridled potential as you are reborn into this moment. Act as if. If you are trying to call in a new relationship, if you are trying to call in a new job, whatever the case may be, this person is no longer the person that you want to be using moving forward, right? It is the old you. You no longer see yourself as unworthy of these things. You are worthy. Embody that feeling and move forward accordingly. Now, your last card is going to be the Neville Goddard deck, the Mystics Imaginarium. That looks like this. And so we're going to see what new perspective or what Neville Goddard kind of way of thinking and being can be helpful in this. And if this is not your cup of tea, I understand, but we're going to, see how to integrate it. And we have observe your inner speech. Now, again, I don't really need to move into too much of an explanation with that because we already did that. I love that it's more confirmation here though. What I will do is read these little paragraphs so that you can implement this way of being and perceiving into your day-to-day. Your inner speech reveals the state of consciousness from which you view the world. It would serve you well to make your inner speech match your fulfilled desire if you wish to very swiftly experience the fulfillment of your heart's desires. Drawing this card prompts us to take stock of challenging relationships in our lives, whether they involve workmates, friends, colleagues, or loved ones. It calls upon us to discern whether we've assigned a negative script to these individuals and thus found ourselves in constant mental conflict with them. If you find that your inner speech is characterized by negativity in such relationships, understand that this relationship is playing out according to the script that you have assigned it. Please take out your journal. Call to mind someone that you are having a challenging connection with at the moment. Trust your gut to figure out which relationship this card is talking about. Once you know, write down all the negative beliefs you have about that person and how those beliefs are affecting the relationship. Then, on another sheet of paper, write out a brand new script between you and this person. You can script them complimenting you and expressing their gratitude and appreciation for you. This card serves as a signal urging you to transform your inner speech in relation to these challenging relationships. Please know that by embracing this wisdom and working on changing your inner speech, you have the power to profoundly shift the dynamics of these relationships. This card signifies that a specific relationship in your life requires your attention, and it reminds you that you have the creative agency to transform it for the better. When you pull this card, this is an invitation from your higher self to understand and comprehend the spiritual power that you hold within you. Remember that everyone is you popped out. So you reflecting by everyone else. So you see you and everyone else. When we truly realize this, liberation and emancipation are inevitable. So the relationship in this card that we're speaking of is the relationship to you as well. So again, if you wouldn't speak to your child, your pet, your loved one in the way that you speak to yourself, now is the time to observe your speech and talk to yourself in a kindly and loving and empowering way. So process this, maybe do the journaling aspect. See yourself as being rebirthed into a new you and a new way of being, a new way of thinking and seeing. Don't deal with perfectionism anymore. Nobody is perfect. And remember, if they don't pay your rent, if they don't put a roof over your head, if they do not feed you, if they do not love you, then their opinion should not matter to you, right? We do not care about what anybody else thinks about us as long as we are being true to ourselves. All right. I hope this helps. Please let me know if this reading was beneficial, if you liked this type of reading, because this was kind of new. So we're trying it out. We're seeing how well it works. So again, thank you so much for being here. I love you and I like you. If you haven't done so already, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell on your way out of this video. That way you will never miss an upload from me. All right. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye-bye. Hello, my group number twos. Those of you who chose the Herkimer Diamond with alignment, I'm just going to read the keywords out of the book real fast for this card. And we have universal oneness, attunement, and receiving. So those might be some things that you are struggling with, group number two, in order to call in your whatever you're manifesting, or to be in alignment with that. That's what we are needing to work on. So quite interesting, because you need to be in flow with what you are trying to call in. If you can't imagine yourself as a business owner, if you can't be in alignment with what a business owner would do on their day-to-day, then the universe can't really fit that in to your day-to-day, right? You have to be able to walk and talk like a entrepreneur, business owner, as well as you need to be able to open up to receive and trust that it will come if you take those action steps. So interesting that that came out for your indicator card. So this tarot card is the only tarot card. This is your blockage. So we have the Two of Pentacles, and this talks about balance. And that's very much what we're talking about here with alignment too. Needing to be able to receive as well as take those steps to move forward. So there's a balancing act between wanting to, be in the, I'll say the ether, right? Where we just wish it to happen and then we forget about it and we just hope and we pray that it's going to come to us. And then there's also the part where we have to actually do the work, put the steps in, act as if, right? So there's that struggle, there's that juggling act of where your blockage is. You need to be able to fine tune that and to allow yourself to be just delusional enough to know that it's coming, but still be grounded in the reality of, okay, I'm taking every step possible in my reality to move towards my goal. Because if you stay in, the wish fulfilled part of it, where you're not doing anything at all in your own reality, it's going to be a hard time calling that in. The universe won't know that that's what you want because you're not actively trying to pursue it. Think of the energy as a magnet, and you are trying to bring in the other side of that magnet to go. Well, like attracts like. So what you're trying to do is act as if you're trying to put yourself out there as the CEO or as your perfect partner coming in, or whatever the case may be, whether you practice law of assumption, law of attraction, or if this is spell work for you, whatever the case may be, it's the same thing, essentially. Like attracts like. And energy goes with the path of least resistance. So if you allow yourself to open up and trust that it's coming, the energy is so much easier and quicker to get to than the juggle of like, okay, I'm going to wait. Okay, well then maybe I'll take one step here. Do I really believe that it's going to happen, or do I put all of my faith in? Like, it is that juggling act. It is that balancing act of finding that fine-tuned alignment. And I'm not saying it's easy, because if it were easy, everyone would be doing it right now, right? It is allowing yourself to get rid of limiting beliefs, and it's allowing yourself to trust in the universe, trust in your spirit team, trust in the oneness of us all, and understand that you deserve what you want, because if it wasn't a desire, it wouldn't be something that would be coming to you, if that makes sense. So find that balance, find that equilibrium of where it's just enough delusion to keep you motivated and in that wish-fulfilled state of being, and just enough of that reality to know that, okay, I've got to work hard to get where I am going anyway. Putting those steps forward is what's going to allow you to get traction with the energy, because not only are you in that delusional state of being of like, it's already happened, it's already for me, it's already coming, you're actively doing the steps to bring and call it in. So the universe says, okay, she's doing it. She wants this. She knows that this is her plan or their plan. I'll be gender neutral. I'm sorry. So you got to fine tune it a little bit. And I know it's easier said than done. Okay. So then let's go with the Wealthy Woman Oracle here. This is the advice to kind of help fine tune it, help move forward, maybe a new way of thinking. And we have the Conduit. So this makes me think of that magnet analogy that we just used, a conduit to call it in, to bring it in. So I just want to read you this bit right here because we just talked about it. The conduit understands that money is like water. It wants to flow. So we have to be in flow and in alignment with what it is, the path of least resistance, right? So tap into that divine flow and allow it to come to you and through you as a conduit. If you can imagine yourself as the conduit, that it is just attracted to you no matter what, that builds empowerment, that builds confidence, and that makes you want to do more in your reality. So not only that, but like, to me, if I see little bits of like positive reinforcement that it's working, I want to keep going. So when you start to be in that alignment and when you find that right frequency, you'll start seeing these little nuggets of like, yeah, it's coming. Yeah, it's coming. Okay, here's another key. Here's another nugget. And then you just start moving faster because you're like, okay, now I'm trusting. Now I'm seeing the synchronicities. Now I'm seeing the signs. It could be angel numbers. It could be something as like, okay, a free gift here or there. It could be somebody reaches out and talks to you that you find attractive and they're flirty, depending on what you're, trying to bring in. So it's these little nuggets. They're going to be small at first, but when you keep staying in that alignment, you're going to be that conduit and it will flow more and stronger to you. Okay. So your role is now to be the conduit. Allow the intentions to flow with it instead of trying to force it. I love this because it is true. And I can say that from experience. There's lots of times I've given up on trying to manifest certain things because I either didn't feel like I was in alignment to him. I didn't want to go too far into delusion. I didn't want to, I was too afraid to take the first step. So I understand that this can be a legitimate blockage because I've done it to myself. So once you start finding that key of like, okay, I'm good. I'm not going into like spiritual psychosis and I'm not writing it off completely. I'm in that fine line. You will start seeing the things come in that you were not expecting at all. So the last card we have here is the Neville Goddard card. Now, I know some people are not for it, so if this is not for you, that's okay. But we're going to try to see a different perspective, a different way of being with Neville Goddard's teaching here. That's what this deck is all about. So imagine, I'm laughing because it is exactly what we talked about. Imagine your wish fulfilled. And I love that we have these two gateways here because you're walking into something new. I can't with how the synchronicity, see what I mean? So you have a key here to your wish fulfilled. Act as if. Imagine what your life will be like when you receive what you are calling in. Because when you do, you start acting different, holding yourself different, talking to yourself different. You start embodying that self because you can see it. And now that you see it, you can walk into it. So every group I'm going to read from the book here because there's action steps. You must imagine yourself in the state of your wish fulfilled, and in doing so, live and think from it and know more of it. Card 32 imparts a intricate and transformative teaching. You must immerse yourself completely in the vibration of your wish fulfilled. In doing so, you not only think from that state, but live from it as well, allowing you to gain deeper insights into its essence. This card serves as a guiding beacon, inviting you to select a specific desire that you yearn to manifest. Once you've pinpointed this desire, it's time to engage in a potent manifestation exercise. Begin by taking out a pen and paper and then inscribing the following declaration. Quote, "Now that I have manifested X, Y, and Z, this can happen," end quote. With this initial statement, you open the gateway to a stream of consciousness exercise whereby you articulate, without restraint, all the conceivable actions and opportunities that become accessible to you now that your desired manifestation is a tangible reality. This technique represents one of the Oracle deck's most powerful teachings, offering the potential for profound results. By diligently practicing this method and applying its principles to your own unique circumstances, you tap into a wellspring of transformation. Shifting your perspective from mere contemplation to total immersion in the state of your fulfilled desire empowers you to unlock the full spectrum of manifestation possibilities. It is a journey that can lead to profound personal growth and the realization of your deepest desires. When you pull this card, place a hand on your heart and focus on self-love. Know that you are doing so well and your higher self is so proud of you. Take 3 deep breaths and know that you already possess every single thing that your heart desires. So I think that would be a very beneficial exercise. Act as if and imagine your wish fulfilled. Imagine that you already are in alignment with it, that you are one with it. You are the conduit. You're calling it in. And every action step that you take to move towards your goal is acting in that alignment. You just need to find that right balance of being just a Lulu enough and focusing on what you can do in your reality to make it happen, the tangible results. So I hope this helped. Please let me know if this is the type of reading that you enjoy, if you want to see more different kinds of readings like this, because this is brand new from me. And I would love to know what group you chose down in the comment section below. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I love you and I like you. If you have not done so already, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell on your way out of this video. That way you will never miss an upload from me. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye-bye. Hello, my group number 3s. Those of you who chose the hematite with culmination and root chakra. Those might be some things that we are focusing on to remove the blockage. So root chakra could be an important thing for you, as well as the word culmination. So finality, or it's all coming into an end for a new beginning. It's all happening. It's all being created. And hematite is great for grounding. It's great for stability. I do want to take a peek at the keywords for this card because they might be beneficial. We have ascension, higher realms, and grounding. So yeah, we might be looking at grounding ourselves, knowing that we are ready for a new level. We can go higher. We can build up, level up, I should say. So what we're going to do is we're going to put this over here. You might be I'm getting the energy of very flighty, very, that anxiety feeling, that like, yeah, someone who suffers from anxiety. Yeah, that's not a fun, I'm laughing because I understand. It's not a fun feeling. So there could be a little bit of anxiety, a little bit of like hesitation, the need to come back down to earth and ground yourself and be a little bit more stable. So what's going to happen is we have the tarot card here. This is the Ethereal, let me check, the Ethereal Alchemist Tarot. This is going to be your blockage. And then we have 2 cards from 2 different decks. One is going to be the advice to kind of see how we can move through this. And the last is a Neville Goddard card. So if you don't want to be involved in the Neville Goddard, that's perfectly fine. Everybody has their own viewpoints, but I just would like to see a different kind of perspective because the cards do have an action to take in the guidebook. So let's get going with your blockage. And your blockage is the Three of Wands. I feel this is where the anxiety energy is coming from. And we have the Ascension there. I think you're afraid to step into your own power. You're afraid to actually receive what you're calling in. This is no judgment. This is no shame at all, because it can be very scary trying to level up. It can be very unnerving. And especially if you don't know how to embody that energy. So if you've never had 10K in your bank account, that's a very overwhelming feeling when it does arrive. If you don't know how to, hold on to 10K and utilize it properly, that's a very anxiety-ridden, feeling. If you don't know how to be a CEO or a business owner, it can be very unnerving and, scary to actually be one without the experience. So what this is telling me is that you need to ground yourself in the reality of where you want to go and what you're calling in. If you have not been in a loving and caring romantic relationship, it might be hard to put yourself out there when you are trying to call it in, because that's something that you haven't known, right? So that anxiety is very potent. I'm like, it's feeling. But do know that once you ground yourself in the energy of what you're trying to call in, you can take baby steps to get there. You don't have to run up like Rocky on these steps. You can take it step by step until you feel empowered and emboldened to really accept your new, I'll say, identity. Okay, it doesn't need to happen all at once. But the fact that we have the Three of Wands here already, to me, I feel you already know and want this so bad. You're just too afraid to expand and grow into it, because that's what the Three of Wands is all about. You've done the storyboarding, the vision boards, you've done all of that. That planning was done with the Two of Wands stage. It's now the Three of Wands. This is all about actually expanding and growing into your new self. And that can be scary, especially if you've never been there before. You've ever been to a new building and you're like, oh God, I've never been here before. I don't know where I'm going. So it already has the anxiety in you, because you want to make sure you're going in the right direction. You want to make sure you're meeting the person that you're supposed to be meeting there. And you want to make sure you're on time, all of these things, right? So it can be very anxiety inducing to go somewhere new, to expand and actually grow. But that's where that grounding comes in. That's where that root chakra comes in, to know that you're stable right now, to know that you're grounded right now. So whenever you choose to get to the next step, you have that stability in you to know that this is who I am. I am making it happen. I am emboldening myself. I know who I am. And I can go up the stairs one at a time if I need to. I can pause, but I know that there's a rainbow at the end here for me. I know that this is what I want. So sometimes we have to do it scared. Sometimes we have to push through that anxiety. But this is about knowing that this is coming to you because you've desired it. You want this. And now it's just being friends with the unknown, being friends with this new person that you're becoming and getting to know them and knowing that no matter what happens, you're growing regardless. You're expanding regardless. So enjoy the journey. Enjoy this new ride, this new adventure, and accept the reins and know that you're in control and you've got this. So maybe it's about allowing yourself to feel more confident, more courageous, more accepting of yourself, scared and all, to move forward. All right, so the next one that we're going to take a peek at is the Wealthy Woman's Oracle. We're going to see what advice we've got moving forward. And we've got the Adventurer. So this is a new adventure. You are going to be bold. You are going to, go to new uncharted places that you haven't been before, but you're going to do it feeling empowered. So I love this. It says, unexpected adventure, and welcome change. Change is in the air, and she welcomes it. The path she has been on has become predictable, and she yearns for something new. As she approaches a crossroad, she welcomes the opportunity to take a new route, one that is potentially less comfortable, but holds much more promise for adventure and wealth. Embrace the change. I love this. Enjoy the journey to new levels of wealth. I feel like sometimes it's really hard to envision ourselves as this new person, as this new way of being, this new journey. But when you put on the hat of the adventurer, it's exciting. It is new. It is a breath of fresh air. It is a feeling of like uncharted waters, right? Think of yourself as a pirate or, someone who's an explorer, someone who wants to see things in a new way. And when you put on that hat or those goggles, you start seeing yourself in this position or this new way of being, and it's exciting, and you start to accept those things, accept that part of you. Change is always going to be hard, no matter what type of change it is. There's always that unknown behind it. But when we step up to the threshold of the door to change, what ends up happening is we are facing our fear. And the only way that we can get to the other side of that door is by going through our fear. So embolden yourself, empower yourself to walk up those steps. The last card that we are going to look at is the Neville Goddard card. So if you want to, click off, you can click off. If not, we're going to go move forward. Some people just don't vibe with Neville Goddard's teachings. That's why I say those things. We have universal oneness. This is interesting. So maybe some of you might want to check out group number 2, just in case, because there's a similar theme there. Universal oneness is knowing that I am you, you am I, we are we, seeing yourself in other people. So if there's a person that is if there's a person that you see that is empowering to you in the position that you want, or in the career that you want, or in a relationship that you would like to have for yourself, see yourself reflected back into that person and start figuring out what would be a change that you would need to do inside or perspective-wise in order to embody kind of those traits, I'll say. Okay, I'm going to read from the book because there is an activity here. The moment a man aligns his beliefs with those of any state, he merges with it, and this union leads to the activation and projection of its plots, plans, dramas, and situations. Card 30 encourages us to understand the significance of matching the vibrational reality of our heart's deepest desires. When we deeply pray or yearn for something, it's essential to attune ourselves to the emotional and vibrational frequency of what it feels like to experience that desire as a physical reality. This aligns our inner state with the external forces that work to bring our desires into manifestation. For example, if someone is facing the possibility of homelessness, visualizing and embodying the feeling of security in their home environment within themselves can be a transformative practice. By immersing themselves in the sensation of security, which again, security with the root chakra, they send out a powerful vibrational signal to the external world, essentially petitioning the universe to align circumstances in accordance with their newfound vibrational state. This card also emphasizes a profound interconnectedness among all subconscious minds, highlighting our universal oneness. This card beckons us to remember our interconnectedness and to embrace our role as co-creators of our own reality, allowing our deepest desires to come to fruition swiftly. If you draw this card, know that your higher self wants you to have a major breakthrough in understanding who you are on the deepest levels, spiritual level. You are a fractal of God's source energy. You hold the creative power that God itself holds. When you know this, you will never doubt yourself again. If you pulled this card, you are being asked to call to your mind something that you deeply wish to manifest in your physical reality. Take a moment to quantum jump into your future self, who is already experiencing this. Use the power of all your senses to immerse yourself in the imaginal experience of your wish fulfilled, and then keep that faith as it is already yours. You would not have desired it if it didn't belong to you in the spiritual realms. Oh, that was what I was trying to say in the other video as well, or another group, I should say. So again, it might be kind of like in poor taste to talk about if you're facing homelessness, that sort of situation. That's kind of where people are a little concerned with some of these teachings. It's, not a fix all for every situation, right? And I completely understand that validation. But the example holds true that if you are trying to call in these things to yourself, immerse yourself in every single feeling of what it's like that you already have it. And then be okay to step forward into it. All right. Don't allow yourself to block your blessings because you're too afraid of the unknown or too afraid of stepping into your own power. And some of you, it might be the fact that you're too afraid to kind of step into the manifestation because you're not quite sure how it works. You're not quite sure if it's something that is detrimental. I can assure you it is not. It is simply like attracts like. So what you want, if you are constantly wanting a new job or a new position, if you are thinking to yourself that I can't do it, I don't have it, it's not for me, or why am I always passed over, the universe will send you those things to feel that way about, right? So it's getting out of that mindset of, I'm going to say, lack and unworthiness, and jumping into the frequency of self-empowerment, knowing that you are worth what you are wanting. And again, that quote of what desires you, or what you desire desires you. So hopefully that makes sense. Please let me know if this resonated with you down into the comment sections. Let me know what group you chose. And if you like these types of readings, this is completely new and different to me, to see, what blockages are there. If you want a different type of reading, please let me know that too. I would love to explore more and bring you more interesting readings. So thank you all for hanging out with me today. If you have not done so already, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell on your way out of this video. That way you will never miss an upload from me. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye-bye.